Welcome to Canada's podcast.
At Silicon Valley Bank, we help innovative technology and life science companies grow. If you're ready to take your next step, discover how Silicon Valley Bank's founder-friendly financial solutions, industry insights, and connections can help you move your bold ideas forward fast. Go to www.svb.com/Canada/connect. Take your next step with Silicon Valley Bank.
Hi, everyone. Today I'm with Ritou Maloney, who's president, co-founder, and COO of Pür Simple. Thanks for being with us on the show.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for having me.
Great. Well, it seems like, as I said before, you've built a breakfast empire all across Canada. So tell us how you got to create this great business that people can find and enjoy your breakfast all around in many different cities in Canada.
Well, we started with our first location in Quebec. We're originally from here. Our first location was in Vimont-Laval, actually. And it wasn't a fairy tale story. We worked really long, hard hours. I didn't expect to be, I come from a marketing and a fashion background, and I went into restaurants thinking this is a great dynamic industry. Got into it and realized the restaurant business is fun. It's great because you're constantly surrounded by amazing guests, but it's a lot of hard work. And my first couple of years, I learned what it was like to be a server and how amazing the career of hosting and greeting and creating hospitality is in the restaurant business. So we started with that first location, and from there we had so much interest in Atlantic Canada, actually, to open a breakfast concept out east. And, being natives of Quebec, we're like, this is, breakfast is only in Quebec. This is the breakfast capital of the world. And, but we saw this opportunity as, well, there's so many breakfast restaurants in Quebec. We know how to do it really well. So why not take this experience, reinvent breakfast like we're doing, and take it all the way across Canada? And so doing that, we became the new kids on the block in Atlantic Canada. We literally started a breakfast culture outside of Quebec. And, Cora started here, and, the Alamo Cocos and all of the other breakfast concepts that we have in Quebec, they all started here, but Cora was the only one that really branched out. And we said, you know what, we could do this. We can make breakfast, and we call it reinvented. We call it sexy. We try to take breakfast and take the greasy out of it and the diner out of it and really give people an experience. So we opened our second location in Moncton, New Brunswick. And we did not expect the love that we got there. Like, to the point where the first couple of days we actually had to close the doors because we couldn't handle the volume. When there's when it takes breakfast, you're supposed to come out in 15 minutes. It was taking 50. So we didn't expect the lineups. We didn't expect the love. And we got our acts together quite quickly. And we opened, and we were just flying. People loved it. And, we did breakfast differently because of the decor was one major aspect. But the other aspect was the food presentation. We made everything when the plate came in front of you, you had to say, wow. And if you didn't, your mouth was watering or you were speechless. That was the goal. And when we first started, Instagram wasn't even so big, but we said that was the goal, to make everything Instagrammable. And giving a beautiful environment, giving a wow presentation, and then adding the hospitality portion where it's not just, how many? Oh, your table's ready. No, it's really, we want to get to know everybody's name that comes into this restaurant, and getting to that affinity with the guests and treating them like les invités chez nous, people that, are invited in your home. Mm-hmm. Those three aspects allowed us, I think, to expand the way that we did. and not ever taking our eyes off the quality and the consistency that you have to create, a brand to do coast to coast. We need to make sure that it was perfect from Vimo Laval to Moncton, New Brunswick, and then all the ones until, number 25 that we just opened last week.
And talking about that, like what differences in the restaurant culture have you seen from coast to coast? Like, are there places where it was easier, or people who want to fulfill that mission for their restaurant? I want to open more location across Canada. What does that look like? What did you encounter in doing this?
So it's a great question, because we didn't think breakfast could be that different across Canada, right? We said, we do breakfast in Quebec. We have creton. We can have, we have our baked beans. Everybody loves baked beans. Got to Atlantic Canada and they're like, well, what is that? And no matter how much you educate people, that's not necessarily the vibe or the style of eating that they like. And then going to Western Canada, you realize, people are more food centric. They're more health centric. And I think we got very lucky because our name can target many different markets. It doesn't have to be breakfast and lunch. And it could be a little bit of a healthier twist on breakfast if we need, or lighter options. And so I think we were able to counteract a lot of the, West Coast, vegan culture and the keto diets and everything like that with the amount of variety that we had on our menu. We have the gluttonous dishes where you can have your 3 French toast filled with Cinnabacon and whipped cream and Nutella. And then you can have your keto dish, or you could have your vegan avocado toast. And there's just something for everybody.
That's really cool. I'm excited to try all of them now, because I see that you're adapting the menu depending on where you go and what stick or what doesn't. And it's really, as you said, it seems like you've put a lot of focus in finding the right recipe for the right people. So logistically, as the COO, how did you feel about having to adapt I imagine almost everything, like the menu, the cooking, the recipes, the book, the everything, like logistically, what did you find that helped you go through these small changes that you have to do along the way?
So I think what we did was we evolve our menu almost every 6 months to every year. So that helps a lot, right? So we don't have a different menu in every different province. We actually adapted our menu to constantly see what's selling, what's not, what's trending, what's not. We also have regular LTOs, which are limited time offers, to kind of see what people are interested in and what we could put on and take off the menu. And we do a lot of research and development. That's A. And B, we do evolve our menu very often.
So,
and also, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. So like taking a lot of time to be, you're always in testing mode in the end. It's not like, this is our menu. This is what we've been doing for the last few years. This is what we're going to keep doing. You're already evolving and testing along the way so that what your clients want, and be ahead of those trends, because like eating has a lot of trends these days.
Absolutely. Eating is like the new designer thing. When you go out, you want to go have a designer cocktail now. You want to go have a really nice meal. But absolutely, it's really adapting to the changes quickly. And, we don't always hit a home run. We just launched a brand new menu and it is doing amazing. But, we took off a dish, and I'm getting maybe 5 or 6 emails a day from guests saying, you took my favorite meal off the menu. Why would you do that? And, even with that, like, we continue hospitality and we still serve it to them until they say, and, we give them an opportunity to try other things. But, if that's what they want, that's what they're going to get at Pür Simple. So, we do our very best to be resilient and adaptable as well, because guests are quite picky these days, and they should be. They know what good quality is, and I think when they come to Pür Simple, I think they get the value for their hard-earned money, and that's why what we call breakfast is an affordable luxury. It's still a luxury. We want to make it feel like it's a luxury, but yet it's affordable for a family. Before, it's about a $20 a bill per head, and you can take your family out to breakfast.
The team at Silicon Valley Bank in Canada can help you move your bold ideas forward fast, bringing global expertise to founders, investors, and innovators. Visit www.svb.com/Canada/Connect to find out more.
And I want to come back to I think it's great. Affordable luxury definitely makes me want to go have breakfast every day and feel like a queen, you know. So I really like that mentality around something that we do every single day, you know. And I want to come back to the idea of, you know, you started in fashion, and earlier you mentioned that, you know, you transitioned from fashion to entrepreneurship to restaurant for the dynamic industry. Like, what did you get from fashion that really helped you to forge yourself to be a successful entrepreneur?
So, you know, the fashion industry, everybody thinks it's all glam. It's the complete opposite of all glam. You're in, you know, we used to, when I was in clothing, my dad used to say it was a family run business. And he's like, we're in the schmutta business, which is at the end of the day, you're packing boxes, you're shipping out clothes, you're buying, you're doing a lot of fun stuff, but it's super dynamic and you're constantly running on adrenaline. So I came from the retail sector. So yes, we did a lot of buying. I've traveled everywhere in Europe. Thank you to my dad. I love you. You know, we've gone on buying trips to LA, to New York, to Vegas, and you know, but what fashion really comes down to is the exact same thing as what restaurants and us serving guests comes down to, which is finding what they want and providing it in the nicest way possible. So, you know, you're looking for the sweater. You need to know what's trending. You need to know what people are looking for. You need to be able to merchandise that perfectly. So that woman's going to see it on her and say, wow, I'm going to look good in this. Right. And I have to buy this. I cannot leave the store without buying this. And it's the same thing in restaurants. You want to come in and you want them to say, you know, you want them to have this beautiful greeting. Welcome to Pür and Simple. You know, is anybody joining you today? You want them to come in, have that great experience, try almost everything on the menu because you've sold it so well, you've packaged it so well, you've made it look so edible. And then leaving saying, I don't need dinner, I don't need breakfast, lunch or dinner ever again, because this was just the most satisfying meal. And I can't wait to come back to Pür and Simple. So what I guess fashion taught me is, you know, it's dynamic, it's fun, it's constantly being with people. So I was in the retail sector, and going into restaurants, it's again the retail sector, and it's just satisfying your guests. Find out what they want, make sure you give it to them, and they're going to be wanting it more and more and more and more. And it was hard to find an industry that was that dynamic, because you're dealing with so many different aspects. You know, the buying in fashion, you're dealing with buying, you're dealing with, you know, the retail, the staff, you're dealing with constant changing trends, the merchandising, where to put things on racks. And in restaurants, you're doing the same thing. You're constantly dealing with new franchise partners, their staff, finding out new ways to present your menu, new things to put on your menu, and making it look so delicious and edible that people are going to want it again. So it was nice to have that continuity of everything that I learned in my experiences and bring it from fashion into restaurants.
It's really interesting how you put it, how actually now I can see how those two industries are really aligned, or similar, you know, in many ways. But before you explain all of this, I didn't get that many connections, you know, so I can see that it was very transferable for you. And what was the hardest thing that you've had to overcome in the last few years?
There's a lot of them, but I think I would start back in fashion. You know, in 2000, when the big box stores weren't in Quebec, my parents had a retail chain of almost 50 stores, anywhere from Rimouski, Rivière-du-Loup, all the way to, Carrefour-en-Grillon in LaSalle. So I probably have done 1 million kilometers in Quebec driving. And, but because we were traveling so much for the business, I started traveling and seeing, oh, wow, there's Zara's, there's H&M's. And this was in 2000, right? And there's Forever 21s at the time, and these big urban behaviors, and Costco wasn't even here. And we had this small little retail chain of women's clothing. And I was like, how are we going to survive when all of these big retailers come in and just eat up our market share? So, seeing that trend with my parents, we decided that we were going to actually take ourselves out of the industry. And we ended up within 5 years closing 50 stores. So that was my, my inauguration into entrepreneurship at 19 years old. So I graduated from university, and I was still in university while I was working because I loved, what my parents were doing, and I really did want to support them along the way. And I basically closed 50 stores, told over 300 people that they were out of jobs, and not one of them left me before the end of the last day that we closed each and every single one of the stores. They stayed with me all the way till the end. And that's, I think, the biggest lesson. Your reputation is probably the best thing that you will ever have in your life. You need to make sure that that is stellar, because these people, these amazing individuals did not leave me, did not leave my parents through the good times or the bad. And it was because of what they tried to create and build for these people, for everybody that worked with us. And I bring that now with Pür and Simple to create that family environment that I was so lucky to have. And even though nobody in my family works in this business, everybody that works with me is my family. And I treat them like family. And I don't know, we fight like family sometimes, but it's probably, so the biggest challenge was closing everything, but learning that you can rebuild it all again was probably the best part of my last couple of years. And it was probably the most rewarding for everybody that has been involved in Pür and Simple. But I think I've seen a very good, I think having that modesty and learning from the hard parts, I think it makes me a better leader, because I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm not afraid of driving a 20-foot big truck and putting in bunches of racks and being there with every single one of my staff members and saying, I'm no better than you. I'm just like you, and you guys are all here with me, and I will do everything in my power to always be the best me I can be. So I think that was the biggest challenge growing up.
Well, we hear a lot in entrepreneurship, oh, you have to be resilient to be an entrepreneur. But I think that your story really demonstrates what resilience is and how you actually build, you closed everything and now you're building everything. Like now you're at 25 restaurants. Like what's next for your life? Like where do you see yourself? I know it's a really big question, but now you've built it almost all the way back up, 25 more to go, and you're at 50 again. So what does that look like for the future?
I have no idea. I just, what? Now I'm at that point where I take everything day by day. I used to be such a planner where I needed to get to somewhere to, I achieve this and, I'm going to be happy. But, I've realized life is the journey. It's every step of the way is now my newfound passion and my newfound, raison d'être. I don't think 5 years in advance anymore. I literally think sometimes even 5 days is too long. I think I want to be extremely focused. I think that's really important now more than ever. Getting to keep opening stores is the easy part. Keeping stores open and keeping them successful, that is a bigger challenge sometimes, because you got to make sure the concept continues to evolve, continues to be the best. And your staff and your franchise partners continue to have the tools to better themselves every single day. And so 5 years down the road, or I hope I have as many successful stores as I can. And that's the key. I'd rather have only 25 and they stay at the most 25 successful stores than have 50 and 25 of them are not successful.
That's an amazing way to answer this question, and like living day by day and making sure that like you keep doing things that, from what I'm getting from this whole interview together, is like, take care of your people, see what you've done in the past that you can apply in your new entrepreneurial journey, stay focused, and really focus on making a better place for people so that they can better themselves, love what they do, and stay with you to the good and bad, you know?
Absolutely. That was a great summary. I couldn't have said it better myself.
That's great. Is there anything else you want to share with people listening to us before we end this great conversation?
I think it's also really important as a female entrepreneur to know that you can't always do it all. And you're going to have moments where, like I did this morning, where I just yelled in my car really, really, really loud. And it felt really good because, I didn't think I could handle everything. My 6-year-old son, the new puppy that I decided to put on my plate, all the business do's and don'ts. I mean, the 3 stores we opened in the last 2 weeks. But even if you can't do it all, know that doing your best is, and if you can go to bed saying, I've done everything that I could potentially do today, you should sleep like a baby. And tomorrow is another day. And not to carry on a lot of the negativity that we bring, thinking that we can't do it all. Because we can do it all. It just takes sometimes a little bit more time.
Yeah. And a little bit more compassion with ourselves and accepting that I've done my best and that's it. And I should be satisfied with doing my best instead of overthinking of all the things I should have done or could have done differently.
No, and just this moment. Mm-hmm. Being able to be present in this moment and not saying, oh, what are the other 10 things that I didn't get done today? I wouldn't have been able to be the best me for you. And the same way that I am with my son now, I used to be that, like, I have 10 things on my to-do list and I'm playing with him and checking emails and writing text. No, be present. Be present in the moment that you're in, because you'll be the best you if you're present.
I think that's a great way to end our interview today. If people want to get to know more about your business, connect with you, what is the best way to do that?
I think the best way is by email. Should I say it?
Yeah, if you want to say it.
It's my first name, Ritou, Ritou, at eatitbrands.com. So it's a EATITBRANDS.com.
Great. Wonderful. Thanks so much for your time today and for opening your heart, your business with us, and really appreciate it. And we wish you all the best for what's coming up for your entrepreneurial life.
Thank you so much, Sandra. It was great talking to you.
The Silicon Valley Bank team in Canada can help you take your next step. Find out more about the bank that has nearly 40 years of global experience supporting venture-backed tech and life science companies and their investors. We're in Canada to help leading innovators reach the next stage faster. Visit www.svb.com/Canada/connect. Take your next step with Silicon Valley Bank.